Hi guys, welcome to Grooties. I think I've done this video 10 times. So this one's this is a little bit of laundry. More drama. M20b29 disgusting fucking race engine debacle. Right. Yep, that's for you. I don't mind if you watch. Sorry, guys, that's just for one person. I don't mind if you watch. And I will say one thing. I do think about you, miss you, and send you love. Right, back onto the debacle. So in the last week, I've actually haven't been doing much in the way of videos and stuff. I've been getting stuff done. Hopefully the text message things are wound down now. Just getting dyno results of the m20b29 super stock motor. Made 125 kilowatts at the time, 220 newton meters or something, but awesome flat torque curve. Looks really, really good. It's a very, very mild engine. Did quite well for what it was. Dynos, so the dyno operator says he's about 20 kilowatts down, so it's about 135, 140 kilowatts or something. So yeah. Anyway, back onto the m20b29 race engine debacle. So I picked up the cylinder head and stuff before Christmas. I picked up the M10 head. I have accepted the fact that the last shop that did make a mistake, obviously I make mistakes too. Right? I make mistakes, not a problem. The M20 that I've just got the dyno readouts for, I rectified that mistake. I paid for that engine to come back. I pulled that engine down and I remachined shit and put it all back together at my cost. So there was other issues in there which the guy that put in the car, he shouldn't have oiled it. There was a few other things. So what we find as a business or as somebody that performs a service for anybody, your repair policy needs to be reasonably good. You need to, look, not everybody's going to like you. Not everybody's going to be happy. Now, me, I've been porting cylinder heads for 25 years. I'm okay with what I do. I'm happy with my results. But I chased two very, very influential people in the BMW scene when it comes to cylinder head work. One of them was I was actually his client, and I did a bunch of R&D off my own back. He never asked me to. Right? Now, I used to get shitty because I'd done all this work to make his stuff better, but he'd never give me any kudos. Me, now, the human I am now, whatever. If I helped to make his product better for other people, then other people wouldn't have issues like I had. Awesome. Done my job, whatever. I don't need to be paid for knowledge when I'm helping the community. As for the second guy, took the head to him, begged, he repaired it. He's the best of the best of the best. There's no doubt about his ability. He's very, very good at what he does. Did he have a bad day on my head? Yeah, I believe he did. I think he rushed it a little. So my head was supposed to have guides because the guides were fucked. I bought some oversized valves, so it had to have intake seats put in, and it was reported to suit the larger intake seat, yada, yada, yada. Now, it'd gone back on a flow bench. The day I picked the head up, I'd witnessed, so I'm just going to be truthful here and tell truth only because I'll tell you in a second why, but I don't utilize my belief. I'm just telling truth. There's no point in lying. There's no point in deceiving. There's no point in any of that. Now, when I picked the head up, the day I picked the head up was the Saturday, and I watched an insert be put in and trimmed down. Now, it trimmed down to size so the interference fit was right, yada, yada, yada. Then the head was room temperature. The seat was room temperature. It was 30 degrees or whatever the day was, 26 degrees or whatever. And it was whaled in with a drift. Now, I have other machinists I use because they're my guys that don't fuck up, right? And anytime they have a mistake, it's rectified there's never a problem to me. I pay my bill, we're happy, we're both happy. My two good machinists are, they're ridiculously good. I owe them my success. My success is owed to me and the guys behind me, and I appreciate it. Now, this whole job, this whole m20b29 was nothing but a nightmare. Only one machine, so there was only one machinist that did everything on the bottom end, and he's amazing. Now, that engine, he wanted to sponsor us without sponsorship. He did all the bottom end machining for free, all the modifications of the pistons, the balancing, the whole lot, and didn't charge a cent. I tried to push money onto him. He didn't charge a cent and said, when I raced, I had guys help me. I want to help you, because he wanted to see us race in the black car. Then with the head was just one debacle after the other, after the other, after the other. I should have pulled the pin and sold everything off and just walked away from it about a year and a half in, when the cylinder head shit happened with R. And we'll just use the letter R. And then when I went and begged T to solve the situation, he probably should have said no, but he took it on. So the head was supposed to have guides, supposed to have oversized seats for the oversized valves, and the oversized valves I had made by Rick at Bundy Sales. He makes me valves. I'm happy with his valves. I've had no issues. They're just heavy. So he undercut a stem, but he didn't trim the head of the valve down. And Rick and I, we chat on a monthly basis. He rings me and asks if I need parts and stuff and yada, yada, yada. And I ask him how his day is. He's a lovely guy, lives in Brisbane. So Rick even stated that his valve was not in finished state. So I had to ring him. So when I picked the head up from T, the last machine shop that touched it, it was supposed to be fully flow tested, fully machined. I watched him put a seat in, cut a seat, drop a valve in. No worries, there you go, see you later. I got back home, back to the shop, found all the intake valves had not had their seat cut, their face cut. And I queried this with T, and I was told, no, it's fine. They're nitrided on the face, all over. It'll be fine. They'll bed in. Now, this was a chatty cut with a rolled edge. It was pretty piss poor. And I actually rang Bundy and I said to him, mate, is this going to be fine, your cut, rah? And he said, fuck no. He said, I don't make valves to go straight in the engine. I make valves for you so you can put your own face on it. He goes, my machine's shit. He goes, it's good, but it's not designed to put that final face for sealing. Okay, good. So I had Hendrick, which was so this engine was an absolute debacle. One of my machinists committed suicide over this engine and the debacle of this engine. Right, so not one of my two, one of my three. He was my general machinist and my friend. So when I queried this with T, he said, no, it'll be fine. You bolt the head on and it will deform the seat anyway, which to a point, yes, maybe. Now, I had the seats recut on the valves. I had the valve actually refaced and I had back cuts put on them because that's what I'd requested, and none of what I'd requested was done. The guides that I had put in weren't done. They were just K-lined. It was a soggy shit show. Like, I'd expected more from this guy, and that's because I try to give as much as possible. So it's my own fault for expecting my level of thought, my perception of what brilliant is. Now, that's fine. Now, the issue I've got is now this last machine shop that made the mistakes and the head damaged the engine is blaming me for all work. So what I've done was I've taken the head now to my guy. John is my guy. He's always been my guy. He's a lovely guy, and he's in his 60s, and He's a very good machinist, a very, very accurate machinist that knows his shit. So I took it to him and I said, okay, John, and he goes, and he's not a cylinder head porter, by the way. This is why Johnny never ever did my cylinder head port work, right? He's a machinist. He knows what he's good at, and that's what he's very good at. Now, he can build an engine. Shit, he builds a killer engine. Does very good work. Now, I showed him the head and I said, right, I've been trying to get a part number for a seat, for one of the seats that was fitted to the head, because even John said a seat does not fall apart into 35 pieces without the valve being hard and the seat being too hard. And he seemed to question whether or not it was an unleaded seat or a gas seat. And I went, okay. So how do we find out? He said, see if you can get a part number. So I've asked. Now, I also have a set of valves that are missing from the M10 head, which was sitting at T's workshop for 12 months. That set of valves, I've now had a mild threat, we'll call it, of defamation of character lawsuit. Now, there's been no paperwork, no nothing, just a hollow threat. And nothing bothers me. I don't give a shit. Do what you want. Do what you think is right, because in the end, the truth comes out. So what I did was I asked for my valves, and I've been told, until you remove your last m20b29 debacle video, I'll be withholding your parts. Now, this is for a client's engine, and I'm just a bit, wow. So you're trying to blackmail me into removing a video that has only my perception of the truth of the whole situation, right? Now, I'm not trying to shit can the guy's business. The guy's very good at what he does, and in the circles he works in, he does amazing work. But I do need to tell the truth. I've had two shops that were the best at what they did have a bad day on my engine. Now, I assembled and disassembled and reassembled and checked everything 3 or 4 times on this engine. I just over and over and over until it was perfect. I couldn't afford to fuck up. The only thing I did wrong was I didn't shim up the valve springs to get better seat pressure. They were a tad light. I've checked it all now, and yeah, they were a tad light. They were either a tad light or they had lightened up a little. Now, the intake valve was a little heavy. A valve flowed at 7.4. I've been blamed for that being the issue. I've asked for a part number for a seat, so as I know what the hardness is, so as I can investigate what the hardness of that seat is. Now, anybody that builds race engines with heavy stainless valves knows that you have to run a softer seat, and it's not going to do 150, 200,000 Ks. You're going to get 50 or 80,000 Ks out of a well-built engine like that that's got a softer seat. Shit, you might get 35,000 Ks out of it, whatever. So the job that was promised, 50-degree seats, the most flow possible, killer cuts on the valves, lighten the head of the valve, go brand new guides, all the rest of it, most of it wasn't done. I ended up having to finish the job off myself. And I didn't lighten the valve because I didn't want to damage them. This is why I was paying somebody else to do it, because I didn't want to risk it on the lathe and damage a $106 valve. So now I'm in a position where I have the previous shop withholding stainless valves hardware for an M10 head build, which has got to go onto a client's engine until I remove a video. They've made a threat to get together. I'll get R on the go, and me, T, will get together and we'll do a group defamation or lawsuit charge against you. This was the threat. And I was like, wow. Because I picked both of them having faults, and the faults being that it cost me, and I spoke up, now you're threatening me. And you're withholding my stuff to try and force me to do something that I'm not going to do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and prove me wrong, because I don't have to prove anybody else wrong. I'm only competing against me. I'm not competing against anybody else on this planet. Nobody, only me. So now what I'm going to do is I've asked for the part number. I've been told, no fat chance I would give you a part number so you could use what I use. Dude, what you used broke. I want to use the same seats that you did because it shattered. I want to know the part number so I never ever use it. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have next week, Monday, Tuesday, I walk in with all my valve hardware, and I'll walk in with non-cut valves because I have two sets. So I have a set that haven't had the faces done. They are exactly the way they came from Bundy. I'm going to have the head put on the flow bench. I have my old phone. I have all flow bench figures. I have all conversations. I have everything from both of these guys. I'm going to tick every T and dot every I, and I'm going to try and prove that I am the idiot. Yeah? That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do videos on the exact makeup of that seat. We're cutting a seat out of the head to get a metallurgist report done on it. I will take photos of the K-lined bronze guides. I'm going to take photos of fucking everything. I'm going to go through every single message. I'm going to take all my flow figures and everything that I was sent, and then I'm going to have this head reflowed with the valves that it was flowed with, the non-cut valves. Then I'm going to have it flowed with my back cut, fresh cut valves. And then we're going to cut seats out of it and put new seats in and repair the chamber. Now, my guy, John, I can't praise him enough. This guy, I've seen him weld through the head face down through into an intake port all the way through and mill off the side and mill off the top and have a head perfect. The guy's ridiculously good. So yeah, this is where we're at, guys. This is why there's no real videos. Sorry it's a long one, but you know what? The debacle continues. And now I'm going to utilize my... here you go. So because I don't have an ego ruling my life anymore, like other people do, I've been called delusional. I've been called a liar. I've been called so much different shit from these two shops I've used. I'm not delusional and I'm not a liar. I'm not a piece of shit. I'm just a man that is trying to get to the bottom of a situation so it never ever happens again. Now, I have no hatred towards these people. I send them love. You know why? Because I just want them to be better too. So if they've made this mistake, hopefully they don't make it for anybody else. So here's the long and short of it. I'm going to spend the next month, 6 weeks, trying to prove that I was wrong. For the simple reason, that's learning. Don't blame everything on anybody else. I don't blame everything on anybody else. Now I will say things and blame will be in that statement. But I will then go about trying to prove that I'm wrong. Trying to prove that, okay, if you think I'm wrong, I'll prove that I'm wrong. If I prove that I'm right, who pays the bill? That's what I want to know. All right? Because at the end of the day, I seen what I seen. I've talked to all the professionals that I know that could give me all the answers I know. Now, most of these people know each other. Here's where it gets hairy. Right? Because people don't like to talk about other people in the industry. And I love that. If you've got someone that talks shit and lies and bullshits, I hate that. But when it comes to truth and an honest mistake or a part failing, come on, guys. Let's sort through this shit. It's easy. Right. So now I have valves for a job that I can't finish, sitting at one machine shop, and I'm not going to go there because if I go there it'll get stupid. If there's two guys there and it's only me and I don't film it and it ends up fucking rough and rugged, it's only going to look bad on me. At the end of the day, I'm not going to be walked on. I'm not going to be threatened. And I'm going to solve this situation. I'm going to do it the way I know how. I've asked for all the relevant information and I haven't gotten any the whole step of the way. I have hundreds of messages. So, time to sort it properly. We'll see what the metallurgist report says about the seats, and if they are softer than unleaded seats, then, and only then, can I go, okay, the valve was too heavy, that was a mistake of mine to put it in, I'll wear that, and I will talk about the metallurgist reports. So I'm going to buy an unleaded seat, I'm going to buy a gas seat, and I will remove seats out of the head. My guy will remove them out of the head, and they'll all be tested. And then that way, we'll see how hard the seat is. Now, if it comes that these seats are actually unleaded hardness or harder, then the machine shop that fitted them knew it would be an issue. And if he didn't, it doesn't make sense. So maybe people are deflecting their mistakes onto me. That's fine. You can do that. I'm strong. I'm happy. I'm happy with that. But once the truth comes out, then be prepared. Because at the end of the day, there's no apologies to be made here. I don't expect an apology from anyone if I'm correct. And if I'm not correct, I won't be paying any apologies. At the end of the day, I'll just be showing proof of what happened and why. And then that way it takes everybody that watches the videos on the m20b29, takes them to a new understanding of how far you have to go when you want to go to the very edge of the builds. Easy. I think it will get really interesting from here. And it's been 22 minutes of your life. If you watched the whole lot, thank you very much. Sorting issues out. It's not the easiest thing to do. And not the easiest thing to do correctly. Not here shit cannon people. Just trying to get to the truth. To the very tip of the truth. So it doesn't happen again. That's all it's ever been. Later, guys. Have a good day.